Good morning, people! Incredible sunrise. Look at Agongs this morning. All in red, or purple actually. And the cloud looks simply amazing. Since we cannot dive, so then I'm going to continue today's it will be the second part of explanation of all the dive sites. So the first dive site what I will comment today will be, I will start with the pyramids and we'll move all the way to Gemalok Wall, Bunutan. So we'll see how many of the dive sites I can include in this episode. In a previous episode I was talking about all the dive sites all the way up to our house reef. So basically I was talking about Kubu, Tulamben and something between Tulamben and Ahmed. So now it's time to talk about the first one of the most popular dive sites around here in Ahmed. It's pyramids. There's a separate video about these dive sites and it's all in a description where you can check all the videos. Just click on them and you will see this separate videos. So what is a pyramids? Pyramids, it's concrete constructions made 1995. We're starting from the Warung Bobo. We're going in the woods. That's a shore dive. First of all, we're swimming a little bit away from the shore because it's really shallow, and if you go down it's some kind of corals you can damage, so better is a little bit to swim out. So when we descend, there's really nice coral formations, the yellow corals. There you can see also some turtles. In this particular place you have to be really careful because there is a lot of fire corals. What is a fire coral? It's like, looks like a plant, white color. Sometimes it's brown color, but if you touch it, it's burning, really burning, and the feeling is like you got burned or stung by jellyfish. Then we're going slowly down. It's on one side it's sandy area, on the other side it's coral garden, and the depth at this particular place is around 5-6 meters. Then we're coming closer to the slope, edge of the slope, where it's about 8 meters, and then we're descending down to some 18-16 meters, like a sandy plateau, and on this sandy plateau that's where these pyramids are. There are about 30-40 pyramids. I don't know the exact amount of them, and because they've been underwater so long, there are so many corals growing and so many fishes living in it. Some blue spotted stingrays. I have to say that in this particular dive site there's a lot of blue spotted stingray. When we're doing the dives from the boat, then we usually finish the dive on a wall. The wall is starting some 15 meters and going all the way down to 40 meters. And if you have a good air consumption, you can drift from pyramids all the way to Gemalok Beach. My recommendation is, if the air consumption is not really good, so it's better to do this dive site from the boat. Next dive site, what I would like to talk about, there is a Gemalok Beach. Gemalok Beach is a training polygon. There's a lot of students usually diving, and usually in Gemalok you can do 2 dives. One is in a shallow part where all the statues are, another thing is a Gemalok Wall. If there is no current, you easily can swim to the wall, then when it's 100 bars left, then you can turn around and come back. That probably is one of the dive sites I've been diving a lot, just because simply it's really comfortable for the students. You cannot damage anything there. The dive starts from the parking place. Usually when it's normal times and it's not the quarantine times, there's a lot of divers loading in and coming out of the dives. There's a lot of instructors doing the briefings for their students. All right, let's say you already swam out. It's like a plateau It's really sandy area, and the depth is from the zero all the way down to edge where the slope starts. The depth is about 6-7 meters. I don't know, you have to swim really long out to get some 40 meters. We have one wreck down there at 35 meters, and it's always better to swim on the surface and then descend, because otherwise you reach the wreck and you have to start ascending. It will take about 300 meters to swim to reach the wall. The wall is starting some 10 meters depth and all the way down to some 40-45 meters, where again the sandy slope starts. This particular dive site is really beautiful. In a shallow part, the wall is also amazing. In a shallow part, which is from 3 to 10 meters or 12 meters in some places, there's a lot of fun corals, and it's like a pinnacles full of these small fishes which is living in these corals. Beautiful place. And there are one place where also white-tip baby sharks sleeping. I really recommend to do this dive from the boat, because then you can start in a place where everybody's turning around, but you drifting towards Bunutan Beach, and that drift is amazing because you finish in a beginning of the Bunutan Beach where these all beautiful hard corals are. Before the quarantine started, we did this long drift. You can check the video again in the description. And the third dive site which I would like to talk about in this episode is Bunutan Beach. Definitely our favorite site around here in Amed. We have pretty similar, but it's nothing comparing to Bunutan. Bunutan is very, very special. It's not for everyone, but that's why it's just getting higher value. Bunutan Beach starts from the fisherman village. You go in a boat and then you slowly go deeper, and then you reach the sandy area where the green grass is growing. And that's the place where all the time you can see green sea turtles, because they are simply eating grass there. That's their food, and they don't care about you. You can get really close, you can take photos, videos. Of course, respect and keep the distance, but they don't care about you at all. They're simply eating grass. Another interesting thing is this: in this sandy area, which is about 5-6 meters deep, there is a garden eels. Hundreds and thousands of garden eels you can see in that particular place, nowhere else. And again, garden eels are not really scared of you. You're following the barrel corals, and that's slowly getting down to some 25-30 meters. And in the beginning of all this reef, there's a lot of fishes living in these drum corals. There's this triggerfishes, small triggerfishes, blue colors with brown teeth living. Thousands of them. It's really beautiful, especially if there is like a good visibility. It's really interesting to look at them. There are hundreds and thousands of barrel corals, from the small to the huge. Amazing. You can do 40 meters, 45, 50 meters, and it's still going on. In that place around 40-45 meters, there is also some white tips and black tips sleeping, drum corals all the way down, fun corals. And you have to be really careful, because in some place there is a current going down, and if you will miss the moment when it's already time to go up, then it will bring you down to 40-50 meters, and if you will fight with that current, you will never get up to the surface. So that's why you have to be absolutely sure that you know the currents if you're diving in that place. And the rest of the dive is drifting between fun corals, pinnacles, hard corals, watching some fishes. It can be really long drift, because you can drift all the way up to Lipa Beach. And because of this combination the deep part and the shallow part, there's no any breaks. The only break is this part where is this downgoing current and nothing is growing, so it's sandy. Since there is not that many guests, we can afford to do all these long drifts. We'll see what we will do when there will be more guests. We will, like I said already previously, we will offer these long drifts for everyone who's feeling strong about air consumption and with a little knowledge of how to use your diving computer if you accidentally get into the decompression mode. So this dive site is really incredible. All right, I think that's it for today. I'm really sorry that I cannot show you something more interesting, but you have to understand we are on a lockdown and we have to respect local regulations. Thank you very much for watching me today again. Follow, subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and see you tomorrow again. Bye.